Hello, this is Ninja Mike, 2 Minute Video Guys, 2minutevideoguys.com. And today we're going to talk about virtual events, live event services, virtual event services. So if you're planning your first or next summit, we're going to go over some of the good intentions, but bad advice that maybe some of the other experts have been giving you. And we're going to start with the top one. So here's the top 3 pieces of advice that we hear the big gurus telling you and why you should not listen to them while you're going to run a virtual event using Zoom. So the bad advice number 1, they say, have the speakers pre-record their signature talk, then upload it to YouTube, and you can play it during the event. Don't do this. Now, in theory, that is a great tip, but here's why you shouldn't do it. Now, aside from connection issues, playing the video causes a lot of risk. Now, number 1 is quality of broadcast. You're going to have delay, lag, sound synchronization. That basically means it's going to look like those 1970s kung fu movies where the lip syncing is going to be a lot out of sync. So the sound quality might clip, the sound levels might not be loud enough, might be too low, might be too loud. You're going to get that grainy video quality because it's going to reduce it to put it over the internet, to broadcast it back to the internet to your attendees, and especially if you're running on a third-party video or third-party virtual summit platform. Now, the risk number 2 is ads. Now, when you're running any video off YouTube, you're going to run the risk of having 1 to 4 ads being played during that presentation. You have a pre-roll ad when you hit play. You're going to get a layover text ad that's going to be during the play. And if it's a longer video, you might get a mid-play ad. And then when it's over, you're going to get a post-video ad when the video is complete. And if you don't hit stop the broadcast or you hit that pause key, your attendees are going to see, again, 1 to 4 ads. So that's another reason why you should not do that. At number 3, the risk of embarrassment. Now, depending on what you did last online, as you know, Google knows everything you did, everything you searched for, and the ad that's going to show up might be embarrassing to see. So think about all the stuff you previously Googled or looked up on YouTube. It's going to show that as a suggested video or even an ad. So here's what you want to do instead. You're going to ask your speakers to shoot their signature talk in the highest quality video that they can produce. You could also get a company like us, the 2 Minute Video Guys. We're going to show up, we'll shoot your signature talk for your speakers. And then once you have that on MP4 high quality, download it to the machine that you're going to use for your virtual event. That way you can share the screen using the local computer. Again, highly recommended you put it on the machine's hard drive, not on a USB thumb drive, not on an SD card in there, and definitely not Bluetoothing it over from a telephone. Place the actual high quality MP4 video on the local machine. And what we're going to do is put it on a video player playlist, such as a Windows Media Player or any of the third parties. So when you do that, you can keep all your videos in order. They'll be on a playlist, and that's going to save you a whole bunch of time digging through folders or maybe even clicking the wrong video by mistake. So if you have 4 speakers, speaker number 1, you want to rename that 01 underscore and then the speaker, and then again 02 underscore the speaker. So having that will help your playlist order the list 1 through 4 or 1 through as many speakers as you have. Now let's make a note here. If you're actually doing a live broadcast on YouTube or Facebook, and if their video has any kind of music that's going to violate copyright, it'll be immediately muted or shut down. In other words, if the speaker is doing their event, they're getting you pumped up, they have a top 40 song in the background, Facebook will stop your live broadcast. YouTube will mute that particular section, and you're going to lose audio. So for credibility and embarrassment purposes, make sure that you're using royalty-free audio or just don't use audio at all. Okay, here's the next thing. They say use your phone to use your phone to host your virtual summit or live event. Don't do that, because using your phone for a Zoom meeting is great, but running a paid summit or a live virtual event, not so much, especially if you're taking money in. People expect high quality. Now, number 1, the phone has a lot of limitations when you're trying to host events. You might have an unstable data plan. You might have weak Wi-Fi, and it's really not worth damaging your reputation for future events. Now, the plus side, your camera, mic, and screen all connected to the same handheld device, but it does limit your ability to quickly navigate between screens, check your chat, use a screen share. Now, you're also going to need to reposition your camera every time you look at your phone. Now, think about it. You've been to those meetings where you're looking up somebody's nose, you're looking at the ceiling fan, and then when they get up, they have to regroup. Possibly, again, guys, ladies, watch the open button shirts as you're moving the phone around. Just be respectful of the view that your attendees are going to see. Now, if you are going to use your phone, do this instead. Get the best phone you have and implement one of these two settings. Number one, put the phone in airplane mode, Wi-Fi on, alarms off, plug it into the wall power, and attach it to a tripod. Again, that's airplane mode, Wi-Fi on, alarms off, plugged in, attached to a steady tripod. Or B, put it on do not disturb mode, alarms off, data on, plugged into power, attached to a tripod. Now, we always recommend that you go as close to the router as humanly possible if you're at home or you're at your office using the Wi-Fi. Definitely avoid public Wi-Fi internet connections if you're the host. Now, the best practice, if you want to use your phone, is hire a remote co-host, which is going to bring us to our last tip. They say you can do this all by yourself. Again, don't do it all by yourself. You need a team. All great events require a team and great planning. A second, or in our case, we like fourth, fifth, sixth person. It's pinnacle to your success. And if you want to be known as a professional event host, definitely build a team. Now, as the host, attendees are no longer going to accept long and confused pauses in your event to find, unlock, grant permissions to, make sure the mics work, make sure the sound works, and people bringing up to the stage. They don't want to waste several minutes bringing up your next guest or panelist. Now, those are some of the functions that can easily be pulled off seamlessly when you have a team. Now, I know you've been on those meetings where if you actually go back to your recorded sessions, those hour-long sessions could actually be cut down to 40 minutes because the first 10 minutes are people doing the tech check, welcoming people, and then there's always that few minutes where, hey, can we find this person? There's a lot of tricks on Zoom with the panelists, and you can actually find it in the participant list. There's actually a search function, so you can search for your next panelist by typing their name in the search function and immediately grabbing them. Most people, unfortunately, they scroll through the big list of 49 boxes and they keep scrolling page by page until they find that person, then ask to unmute. When again, you learn Zoom a little bit better. Again, a lot of functionality. Always use that find key. It's going to save you a whole bunch of time. But we always recommend having a team. And when you have your list written down for them, they can say, okay, at 2:15, bring up this person on the stage. So at 2:10, I can have my co-host find them, give them the 5 or 10 minute warning, say, hey, I'm going to unmute you in a little while. Be ready to be pinned up stage. So they'll be asked to unmute. Right click, ready to pin, and that'll happen within seconds instead of minutes. So remember, do this instead. Build your team, get one person physically at your location and maybe a remote person outside of your building in case the power goes down, in case your battery runs out. You'll have that second person so the show goes on even if the power goes off. Cover the internet. Make sure that you can actually get a hotspot prepaid. So it's good to have a prepaid hotspot sitting there in case you lose the electricity, the internet in your facility. You can always go right to that hotspot for a backup, or your co-host can also be, again, remote, another state, another country even, and they'll have the tech running for you. So if you get lost, they'll immediately bring you back up. But again, your show goes on. They'll actually have the ability to record the meeting locally on their computer, which ensures you a second copy. They can play what we like to call whack-a-mole with the Zoom bombers. That means if someone happens to come in late and they just show up, you get the big ding dong, their camera mic starts to go on, your co-host can immediately mute them and hide their video and put them back in the general attendance. They can also run the share screen function. So you can actually, if you have the bigger camera setups, like we recommend using the video capture card, so you can have your stage as you're walking around saying, let's go to the slides. That's the cue for your remote host to start sharing the screen. They can also monitor the broadcast of audio and video quality or the main meeting and remote broadcast. So if it starts to look grainy or your mics are cutting out, they can at least message you or message the local team saying, hey, let's pause for a second and adjust the microphones, because you never know when a battery is going to die. By the way, new event, new battery each time. And you can also let the host know in real time when there's issues surfacing, or they can, again, check the chat for questions. And it's a lot of fun having a second person so that you can show up powerfully with authentic confidence when you have a team in place. So for a recap, again, it's to do this, not that. So we want to do, number one, have the speakers pre-record their signature talk. Make sure you do a tech check. Leave it locally on your machine. Do not play it from YouTube. If you're going to use your phone, make sure that you have airplane mode on, do not disturb on, and you have a backup Wi-Fi. And always, always have a team. You can do it by yourself, but we do recommend you do it with the full team. So again, remote co-host can be anywhere in the country or outside the country, or specifically someone sitting right next to you, so that they can do all the tech. And like we say, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Backup, backup, backup. 2 machines, 2 phones, 2 cameras, extra mics. And again, what I like to do is, if you're on, say I'm on this machine, what you don't see is the Chromebook next to me. So if I have to switch over, all I have to do is move the chair. So I have another mic, another camera, another machine, again, just for backup. So if you're running your first or next virtual event, give us a call or hit us up on 2minutevideoguys.com. We're on Facebook at 2minutevideoguys.com. We have a beautiful office here in Venice, Florida, right on the island. We would love for you to come to our location and we can run your virtual event for you. And all you have to do is show up powerfully. We'll take care of lights, camera, all the tech. And all you have to do is show up with your powerful message to serve the people that you serve. This is Ninja Mike. Look back every week for new tips and tricks.